Welcome back to Crystal Clear IRL. I'm your host, AwestruckVox, and I'm here with my co-host, Tom.
I'm fighting with you.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't you read the comments last time?
I did read the comments last time. I guess we're not making eye contact with each other.
Yeah, no.
Don't look the other.
No.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, no. We're not doing this.
So this is the show where we bridge the gap between us and you guys, the viewers. This show is made possible with you and the Stardust app. As I said last week, with Stardust we'll be looking at a previous episode of Steven Universe, and you guys will leave your reactions and theories related to said episode that will appear on the show, tagging us in the reaction at Roundtable Vids. And that's exactly what we're doing this week, starting with Catch and Release, the episode where Peridot was revealed to be small. So let's just jump right into your reactions.
Okay, looking back at this episode, I noticed that at the beginning, Peridot wanted Steven to fix the warp pad the way he fixed Lapis's gem. I don't know if this is Peridot overthinking something or not thinking everything through, but does that make the warp pads made out of the same material that gems are made out of? I don't know. I've tried looking through everything, and I just don't get it. I want someone to look into this, please. But I feel like Homeworld is trying to put in that mentality that because you're an Heir 2 gem, you have no powers and you're worthless without certain equipment. That you have to have these equipment to be able to make it in Homeworld. You have to have these things. Because they are Heir 2 gems and they don't have powers, they have to have these things.
Thank you for your reaction, Alpha Star. Now, the first thing about the warp pad being made out of gem or in relation to Steven being able to heal it, I think Peridot just thought, Steven can just generally fix things, which is kind of true to an extension. As we saw in Monster Union, he was able to repair MC Bear, and that's a non-sentient object that was just a teddy bear, and he was able to stitch it back together just with a kiss with his healing spit. I think it's possible for Steven to fix the warp pad, but I don't think it's made out of the same material as gems. I just think he didn't care enough about the warp pad, have a connection to it to actually have his spit do the trick. As for the Homeworld mentality thing, I think you're spot on, because it's later revealed Peridot does have middle powers, which if she didn't know, I'm pretty sure most of the Heir 2 gems, especially the Peridots, don't know they have these abilities that are hidden within them that I think the diamonds might be hiding from them, just kind of again ensure that conformity and that there won't be another rebellion. But yeah, thank you for your reaction.
I did not expect Peridot to be small, and she is so cute, and I was really hoping she could become a member of the Crystal Gem. Since I've seen this episode, and it was years ago, it did happen, except she doesn't have a star.
Yeah, real bummer about the star, just because, it's been so long since Peridot's come to the fray. I think she'll get it soon. I think season 5 may be the big season. Peridot finally gets her star, among 1,000 other things. But yeah, I think everybody was kind of rooting for Peridot to become a gem, even before this episode. I think a lot of people always saw her as Crystal Gem material, and seeing that come to fruition was really gratifying. And yeah, this is just such a fun episode to rewatch, so thank you for your reaction.
I don't know if I saw her as a gem.
As a Crystal Gem?
Nah, I just saw her as a antagonist.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I always saw her as a Crystal Gem just because I think because we had Jasper to contrast with her, and Jasper's all serious, while Peridot was a bit goofy, and always fleeing. So I thought I didn't always see her as someone who would remain an antagonist, at least not a major one. So that's why I think people were suspecting she could become a Crystal Gem at some point.
I mean, I feel like when I started watching, I wasn't that into the community, so I wasn't hearing that kind of stuff. So I was just oh, she's just an antagonist.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so I have just rewatched Steven Universe Season 2, Catch and Release. I really do feel bad for Peridot. Homeworld gems just don't have the resources to continue making new ones, so limb enhancements, other technological things, I kind of feel bad that she can't seem to be able to summon a weapon. Yeah,
it's really kind of an unfortunate situation where Peridot was thrown in, and that's something I actually really dig about Peridot's story, and being an Heir 2 gem and seemingly not being able to summon a weapon and not being able to shapeshift and all this is it's relatable, because not everyone's made the same, and some people are going to feel like they don't fit in or they're lacking something that everyone else has. So for Peridot to represent those kind of viewers, I think means a lot, and I wish she would do more in the show right now, because right now she's just kind of twiddling her thumbs until Lapis comes back.
She's kind of like Sokka in that way.
What do you mean?
Like, Sokka couldn't bend.
Oh, yeah. I even, think of that. I thought you meant, twiddling his thumbs, like Sokka twiddle his thumbs?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since I watched Avatar, so for all I know.
I have a feeling that my theory is that the diamonds are making the gems smaller, so it's less likely they would rebel against them. And with the resources limiting, that it makes it more so they can make more gems if possible, but the smaller they are, the less likely they will overpower them. I don't know, that's just what I think.
I think you're onto something with, smaller gems, less resources going to the gems. That's certainly what it makes the most sense, since they are going through a resource crisis, and limited hatches seem to be a great substitute for all these gem abilities, all the resources that would go into ensuring these gem abilities. As for the being small component, maybe I feel like that's just a side effect of saving on resources. Like, they're all going to come out a bit tinier than the original iteration, but who knows? Maybe it is also to avoid them overpowering. But we're not sure if Era 2 gems can fuse. So if they could fuse, then they would just be giant anyways.
Yeah, they could just fuse together.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your reaction and your theory.
If that's true, then wouldn't there be a point in gem history where all the gems were as big as the diamonds?
Possibly. That's why we need to know who made the diamonds, because they are the biggest ones of all.
Yeah.
We also don't know, we know there's a Morganite. In real life, people use, Morganites as, replacements for gems and, rings and stuff. Mm-hmm. So maybe Morganites are, close to the size of a diamond.
Maybe.
We'll find out eventually. Thank you, everyone who sent in your reactions this week. Again, if you want to be featured on the show, just download Stardust, link in the description. Next week, we're going to talk about The Trial. The iconic episode. Steven is on Homeworld, goes up against the Diamonds. So just watch that episode and then leave your reaction underneath that episode. Tag that episode. Tag us at Roundtable Vids and your reaction so we can see it. And just be sure to follow us on the app at, again, Roundtable Vids. And now we're going to move to our other segment where we respond to your fan theories. Each week we make a post on the community tab asking to leave your fan theories or questions you have for us to answer, and we're going to do exactly that. We have about 10 of these. We're going to do about 10 each week. So I guess the best way to ensure you get featured on the show is to be as creative as possible and comment every week. Or again, Stardust is also a really great way. This first one comes from Haley Richmond. Pearl has sand powers no one talks about. It's in the Giant Woman episode.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. They never really explain that. She can just, create models with sand.
Yeah.
And
I think it's just a gem ability, kind of like how Lapis has water control.
I mean, I guess, but
it was early in the series where they're still doing magical stuff too, instead of more scientific based fiction. So I think I really think the Convergence did not care. They're just does this look cool? This in the realm of the show, does this look cool? And they're like, yeah. So I don't think we'll ever get an explanation for that. I think it's worth, I guess, kind of exploring. Is that an ability native to gems? Can all gems manipulate sand? Is it similar to Lapis' water powers in the sense that, only Pearl can do that? How Lapis Lazulis can manipulate water? These are questions that I feel we may not get answers to just because she hasn't done it since that episode.
Yeah.
So I feel that was just an early series thing that kind of got dropped on. But thank you for...
That's a big inconsistency. If they just never follow up on it.
This is the same series that had time travel for no reason, one episode. Season 1, if you guys go back and rewatch Season 1, I think you'll notice a lot of...
wildness.
Yeah, just magical components that definitely does not hold up anymore. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thank you, Haley, for your comment. This next one comes from Andrea. At this point, I think it's obvious that Yellow Diamond is in charge of Homeworld's military, and Blue Diamond is in charge of diplomacy. Their roles are opposite, and their personalities are opposite, and their gems are on the opposite sides of the diamond insignia. We could assume the same thing about White and Pink Diamond. Before the trial aired, I thought that White could represent the Supreme Court, but apparently any diamond can do that. Since Blue and Yellow deal with foreign affairs, Pink and White could be dealing with inner business of Homeworld. I would like to hear your thoughts about that. I think that's very feasible, especially with White Diamond. I feel she may be in charge, or at least her court in general, since Blue Gems, all of the Blue Diamond's court, they're kind of diplomatic gems. So I would think White Diamond's court is kind of dealing in the inner workings of Homeworld, its technology, making technology for, Yellow Diamond's court for Homeworld's military, or, creating new gems. Like I said, I theorized before that White Diamond was responsible for creating Yellow and Blue Diamond, so I certainly think you're on something. As for Pink Diamond, I don't know what the opposite of technology to be, maybe nature, since I guess since Pink Diamond's court, it has the flower imagery in the zoo, so I guess dealing with kind of organic life, or maybe Pink went to integrate organic life, which Yellow seems to test in present day, so that might be a connection there. And we saw a fascination with humans, hence the zoo. So I do think this very well maybe we may see in the show. I think you're pretty much spot on.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You would have White Diamond who's in charge of technology, and then Pink Diamond is in charge of the natural stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for your theory. This one comes from P. Corey, stuck in Alohaville. Vox, week by week, I am slowly losing my temper because I have all the evidence. Yellow Diamond and Pumpkin have had a secret relationship. C and Catcher Elise Peridot walks out the door. And in the trial, Blue Diamond has a nose, so Zircon proved it. What? Between episodes, Pumpkin goes with her special someone, and that's why we do not see her.
This is like a rejected Swaggy video. Like something he was gonna make a video about, and he's like, nah.
Maybe, I guess, Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond may not get it on, so, you know, I guess Yellow has to get it from someone, so...
Diamonds are, like, giant, and then Pumpkin's, like, that big. That...
We don't know if the Diamonds can, like, shapeshift down, and, like, you know...
Can Yellow Diamond even see Pumpkin?
She doesn't have to. She just has to feel her.
Oh my god.
Alright, but for real, this next one comes from Jay Adams. My theory is that Pink Diamond shattered herself. Suicide. From the Jogamoon clip, you can see that she is really unhappy, and the topic of suicide is not out of the question for the Crewniverse. So this is actually a topic Slice of Otaku covered that I really agreed with. This is my perspective, not his. I don't really see Pink Diamond shattering herself, just because that is very dark for a kid show, but to reiterate what Slice said, I do think if the Crewniverse ever did handle that topic, they would do it with, like, respect, very poignant, because, you know, this is, again, a children's show, and they do handle sensitive topics, and I think suicide is, like, really up there in, like, sensitive topics, so I just don't really see Pink Diamond shattering herself, just because I don't see her as unhappy in the Jogamoon clip. Like, she was very bubbly and, like, hyper. She's had, like, a really bad temper, she's, like, being told no, but I don't think that means she's unhappy with life.
She's very much like a teenager.
Yeah.
Where it's just everything's on 100. Like, there's no... in between. It's like you're either really, like, you always feel all of one emotion.
Yeah. I mean, if they go that route, they can go that route, but I personally am not with it. Thank you, Jay Adams, for your theory. This next one comes from Gwendolyn Knowles. Character development theory. If you look at how gem characters develop over time, it actually correlates with the meaning of their gemstone. For example, Rose Quartz symbolizes love and peace, which Rose presumably did not symbolize at all. Now we have Steven, who is all about that. Also, another meaning associated with Rose Quartz is self-love, which we've seen Steven struggle with many times on the show. There are other characters that follow this pattern as well, and I suggest looking into it. If anything, it's good literary irony to make a gem the exact opposite of their meaning. There are parts that I kind of disagree with, like the Rose Quartz symbolized love and peace, which she didn't symbolize at all. Rose...
I feel like there are better examples to give for that.
Yeah, like Rose did symbolize love, in my opinion, and Susan Egan, her voice actress, even said she thinks Rose is just love personified. As for the peace, obviously she started a war, so...
Yeah.
But I think the end goal was peace there. It was just a means to get it was war, which is ironic in and itself. I think the personalities of gems do reflect the meaning of gems, or like their spiritual meanings, like how Malachite is a toxic gemstone, and in the show, Malachite, the fusion was used to represent a toxic relationship.
I think a better example to use would probably be Pearl, because like a Pearl is meant to be like flawless and perfect, and like we see constantly like Pearl wants to be that, and she feels like she should be that, but she's clearly not.
Yeah.
And she's a very flawed character, and that's part of the thing that makes her probably the best character in the show.
Definitely. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for your theory, and I do think this is something that the Crewniverse keeps in mind when coming up with characters, even if it's not all of them, but like there are some things that are not coincidences. And we're running short of time, so we're just gonna wrap it up here. This last one comes from Colonian. Maybe White Diamond has the power to manipulate memories, and she changed the memory of all the gems who saw Pink Diamond get shattered. Maybe White Diamond shattered Pink because she wanted to protect the Earth. And we speculated before that White Diamond have some kind of mental manipulation, just because with corruption, you know, Yellow Diamond's powers would manipulate the physical form, Blue Diamond the emotional state, and we've seen that corrupted gems kind of suffer from amnesia, so White Diamond would be the mind. And I do think there is some mental manipulation going on, and maybe that's why Eyeball is so fixated on believing that she saw Rose shattered Pink Diamond. Unfortunately, this is one of those theories where like it's more of a gut feeling and like context clues as opposed to like strong evidence presented in the show or within like the world of the show. So it could be 50-50. I would love to see it. That's something I personally think happened as well, but it's just a matter of does the Crewniverse feel that way and what's their plan?
The mind manipulation specifically doesn't seem likely, but what that idea opens up is very likely.
Yeah.
Because we do see evidence of like there's a possibility that White Diamond made it so Pearl can't talk about what happened. Like there is a possibility that there is some level of manipulation to White Diamond's powers, and there is evidence that that could be a thing.
Yeah. So this wraps up episode 2 of Crystal Clear IRL. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please sort of like, share it, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you can stay in the loop with all things Steven, and remember, if you want to be featured on the show, your best bet is to download the Stardust app, follow us at Roundtable Vids, react to the episode one more time. Next week's episode is a trial, and tag us in your reaction at Roundtable Vids so we can see it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day. AwestruckVox
And Tom.
signing out.